Okay, recording this video on Sunday, the 11th of September 2022. It's just gone 1:14 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So, another September the 11th rolls around. 21 years now. Just extraordinary how time passes. And it's always an extremely sad day. I think the world became a darker place after September the 11th. That and the crash of the Nasdaq, those two kind of moments in time changed people. We had some kind of lightness to life and joie de vivre, kind of naivete, and after that I think the world became a very dark place. And imagine if you're one of the family members of the 3,000 people directly affected by September the 11th, and the countless other people that were affected afterwards, that they kind of live without decent answers to what actually happened that day. Just really sad. Anyway, this is the weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I am seeing on my charts. Just before getting to the charts though, thank God we're in France, because we've got decent internet. We were in Italy for about 2.5 weeks or so, and Italy's a great place. Chaotic, feels like it's going to burst at the seams any moment, and the internet is frankly crap. But I was still able to do some trading and kind of keep up with what was going on, so that's kind of good. But it is nice to be back. We're back in Biarritz, got it on Saturday, and it's nice to be back in France. It feels just more, I don't know, organized, let's say. Anyway, so in the last video I did a week ago, we were talking about the setup in the E-mini, and we had a cracking week in the E-mini, and it all set up from kind of last Friday. And this is the signals we got at the beginning of the week. At the end of the week we were putting in these kind of patterns here, and then we had a couple of signals on the E-mini at the beginning of the week, and wham, we're up 200 points or so, which is great. I'm going to show you the higher time frame charts, just rippling all the way down to the 15-minute charts, and show you why this thing kind of took off this week. So on the daily chart, we were looking for cyclical support on the daily chart to come in. We'd had the cross on the fast and slow line on better sine wave, and we were just waiting for price confirmation. We got that this week when we kind of settled into this, bang, tested into it, 39.20, bang, we took off from it. Now what that means is, because this is the first test, we've had this breakout where we had nice little patterns, if you remember, kind of coming down to the lows, 36, 3700 down here with pullback to end of trends. Look at this, that's a nice triple, setting up. It was a pullback in an uptrend on the daily highest time frame on the daily chart, which is a 9-day chart effectively. Then we had support on the intermediate time frame, and then a nice pullback to end of trend. So everybody knows about that because we highlighted that again and again and again. And we had blue professional bars at the lows, bang, we took off. We broke into an uptrend. As soon as we are through the resistance, the first resistance lines here, you can see that we break into confirmed uptrend. We had a little one here, but then we got some weakness and we had to break again. And we got stopped by resistance in the next highest time frame. That's an overshoot that we get here. But then we'd come back down, and the first test that we have, it's a good test. It holds and it bounces from there. So as long as that level holds, 39.20 kind of holds over the next kind of couple of weeks or so, it means the market is surprisingly strong. And we're going to play out this kind of big long-term pattern where it's a pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame. And that's going to take its time, will be ups and downs and so on. But the first test that we had, test back into that, kind of held, and that means the market is strong. Now when you go through the time frames, kind of rippling down, you can start to see all the blue professional bars kind of coming in. So we had Rambo patterns here, which marked this top, and that was a potential reversal of an amateur breakout. So the amateurs are leading the way. I mean, we had this huge family, just day after day, of Rambo patterns going on. So the amateurs were leading the way, and the professionals had not picked it up at the absolute low on the 135 5-minute chart here. And so the first opportunity where we come back down, it kind of looks like an inverted head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, kind of here. The first opportunity the professionals have on this weakness, they step in and they hold it. A whole bunch of blue professional bars coming in here. We get exhaustion sell, kind of panic selling, bullish divergence kind of comes in, and we hold. And there we go. That's kind of good. 45-minute chart, there's all those Rambo patterns. Here's the whole sequence of blue professional bars coming in at the lows, the lows, the lows, picking it up, and kind of driving it forward. There's that support level kind of holding. And if we go to the 15-minute chart, here we go. Blue professional bars, bang, 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 on these lows, bullish divergence come in, nice little pullback to end of trend patterns, bottoms here, bang, we break into a nice concerted uptrend. Now, on Thursday, Friday activity, we have run into another little family of Rambo patterns on the 15-minute chart. But we are past resistance on these two time frames, the low and the intermediate time frame. This is pretty strong. So it's not time for kind of a correction back down to test or so on. We've got to wait until we get across on this 15-minute chart where these two lines, the thickest lines, kind of come together, and we put in some kind of jiggery pokery here until we find a little bit of a local kind of high, and then we'll have a sharp little kind of test down, I imagine. So I think it's going to be a bit kind of jittery over the next few days. There might be some kind of short opportunities to play off these Rambo patterns in the next few days as we find that high. But we could easily kind of just go through 4100 up here between there and 4150 and so on until we find another proper resistance where we just bounce off it rather than kind of it forms and we kind of keep on pushing through it. Just shows the strength of the market. So there we go. That's the E-mini on the different time frames, and we go back to the tip bar chart, the 13,500 tip bar chart. It's set up with a couple of triple patterns here. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, which was the better momentum indicator. So that's one non-correlated indicator. It's oversold. The background's here in red. That's better sine wave, showing us that we're kind of reached a local low. And then the blue professional bars kind of come in. They come in here, they come in here, they come in here. And we finally break above the trailing stop on the blue professional bars. So that's the third non-correlated indicator. That's why I've got a triple of non-correlated indicators. They go off, bang, 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 and we set off to the upside. And with Thursday, Friday's activity up here at the highs, no blue professional bars, no exhaustion buy, and so on. So we're still in an uptrend. It is overbought at the moment, but that's the only one of the three indicators that's showing a little bit of problems. We've got the better pro line, the trailing stop miles behind, right here, 100 points below almost, and we've not got exhaustion buy. So we're in an uptrend. Now, so that's the E-mini. We've also had all of the kind of risk-on forex contracts form bottoms and rally this week. So this is the euro this week. We had early kind of signals. We came back in, blue professional bars, kind of hold it midweek, bang, we take off to the upside. And this is a nice little pattern here at 96.5. Blue professional bars, they kind of jam it down, get it people kind of out with an exhaustion sell pattern here. Bullish divergence comes in, whole family of blue professional bars pick it up there. That's a U-turn, bang, forcing it down, picking it up, and then it rallies. We're holding here just above 1 parity on the US dollar versus the euro, and this area needs to hold. We need to get through this kind of little local kind of congestion area and kind of keep on going. The euro is the strongest of the lot, I think, on the kind of tip bar charts of the forex contracts. But let me just show you the bigger picture on the euro, because I'll pull this up on a daily chart. So this is continuous contract of the euro, and we've been in this huge decline from 124 up here at the highs that's lasted it's a year and a half and so on, down here to parity. And round numbers and important levels like parity sometimes just kick in. I mean, it's like we bounced off it a while ago. I don't remember if you remember this trade on that low, exactly on the parity kind of number, and we kind of kicked off that. But we've come back down, and we've had, with the last 3 days trading, another kind of little confluence of blue professional bars kind of come in here. So that's important. We don't see blue professional bars on the daily chart all that frequently. We tried to hold it at this level, 110, 112, didn't work. We kind of kept on crashing back down through. But with this activity, we're down through more kind of pullback to end of trend patterns have gone off kind of down here. We're certainly super oversold. Flush patterns going on with better momentum. Let's see if we break through 2.5 kind of here into an uptrend. We'll still need to put in something like a pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame on the daily chart here. But with round numbers like this, we're at round one on the euro, and it'd be interesting if this kind of kicks off and kind of goes to the upside. We've also got British pounds looking pretty strong. Bottom this week, we had signal at the end of the week. We need this little test back down, this whole area to hold to kind of rally on. And the Aussie dollar was also strong. We had a signal Thursday into Friday down here after exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars at the lows and so on. Not a huge number of blue professional bars kind of down here at the lows. I like to see more than that, but if this area holds, you know, all those blue professional bars here, we've not had exhaustion buy, you know, that holds, we break back up through this kind of local high here, 68.5, 68 and a bit, kind of here, that'll show that Aussie dollar is strong. And the Japanese yen, which has been in a hell of a downtrend over the last several months. We got signals kind of Wednesday, Thursday here, so exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, a whole bunch of blue professional bars there. Not sure that was a particularly significant number we hit kind of down here, but we have rallied through. And again, you know, the first rally here, we're in an uptrend, but no blue professional bars at the highs, so they weren't taking profits there. And in fact, what we see is they kind of come back down to this first support area, and they kind of come in. Not unlike this, it's like, you know, blue professional bars getting the move going, they come back here, they hold that area, we break back up through the highs of that blue professional bar. So all of those currencies are moving strongly, and you know, if the E-mini continues kind of higher, that's kind of good for risk-on type markets. So we've got all the forex contracts kind of moving in that direction. Bonds, not so much. Still kind of down here. Yes, we've had exhaustion sell down here. Not many blue professional bars kind of come in, and we haven't generated a signal as yet. So, you know, bonds, still nothing going on there, but we've got enough to talk about with, you know, the forex contracts and the E-mini kind of getting going. Also, we had a fantastic move in Bitcoin this week. Again, nice signals here. What was that? Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday. Kind of getting going here. They jam it down. Blue professional bars kind of come in here. It's like a U-turn, and then we just hold this area. All these signs of strength kind of come in, bang, 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 1, 2, 3, 4 after those, and then we just took off to the upside. I'm just going to show you very quickly Bitcoin on the daily charts here, because this was a really important area. Now, talked about this before. There's 3 ways you can kind of measure Bitcoin using the data that comes into TradeStation. BTC USD, which is the forex kind of contract, dollar BRTI, which is an index, and then at BTC, which is the futures contract. But this is what got me interested and marked the low in Bitcoin. And I talk about end of trends rippling through the time frame. So we had pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, go off. We come back into pullback to end of trend. That's a little, it's a couple of things going on there. It's a pullback to end of trend going on the upside on the lowest time frame, syncing up with a pullback in a downtrend on the intermediate time frame. So there's 2 kind of resistance levels kind of there, kind of come together. But with this week's activity, we put in pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame. So this is end of trend on the lowest time frame, followed by end of trend on the intermediate time frame. We still have to put in pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame. So that's when these thick lines kind of come together, and we put in a resistance there. That's still to come. But this is good because we've got rid of all this kind of trending energy on the downside. So just to show you that, that's a daily chart of Bitcoin, and that's why we had this kind of big rally kick off this week. So let's see where that goes. So that's Bitcoin. So what can I show you next? Yep, now gold and silver, they've kind of traded against each other this week. So silver, we had nice signals kind of set up last week into this week. Again, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence comes in, we're oversold, blue professional bars, we break the trailing stop. There we go, all 3 non-correlated indicators signaling together. That's our triple. Nice little stair-step trade here. Blue professional bars kind of come in here, test the lows there, we test it, bounce from there, and then the uptrend kind of continues, bang, 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 we kind of keep going. So silver in an uptrend, but gold has not. And in fact, gold is running into a little bit of trouble this week with, or last week, with short signals kind of going off here, because we did not have at these lows exhaustion sell, bang, bang, bang. No blue professional bars coming in right at the lows, and we've had exhaustion buy patterns throughout this whole sequence. So let's see, it's not great, but if we get through 1739 and gold kind of follows silver, which is not particularly normal, but anyway, silver's off on an uptrend, and gold, for whatever reason, is not kind of following along. So crude had a signal Friday here kind of taking off to the upside. It's kind of interesting. Natural gas also had a signal. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence comes in. A whole bunch of blue professional bars at $8, but we've got to get through 8.30 here to really show that this is kind of in an uptrend. And then copper. So copper didn't have signals here, and in fact what it's had is we bounced off these lows at 340 into exhaustion buy patterns here, and it's kind of rolled around. Not a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of taking profits there, but if we break through 350, that's not good for copper. So I don't know, it's not so convincing that the risk on trades are kind of happening. So don't really see much of interest in crude, natural gas, and copper. Corn and all the ags, we've had really strong moves in these over the last couple of weeks, and they're running out of puff at the moment. So we've had exhaustion buy patterns, bearish divergence, blue professional bars at the highs. We come back up to test at this point here. So if we break back down through kind of the 680 level there, 676, that might be good for a short-term trade in corn. Soybeans. Soybeans the reverse. We've had patterns kind of come in here, generated kind of long signals. This is a nice trade short into those lows. We get exhaustion sell on the downside. Blue professional bars coming in at the lows here, and here. That's good. So soybeans is actually kind of triggered long. What's wheat doing? Yeah, wheat's in an uptrend as well. There's a very strong pattern here with blue professional bars buying that retrace. So this signal did not work out because we didn't have blue professional bars at the highs. We had exhaustion buy bearish divergence, but that's showing the strength of the move. And as soon as we kind of come into some weakness, the blue professional bars step in, bang, we take off to the upside, and then we've come into weakness again, take off to the upside with blue professional bars doing this and this. You can see the same things like here, here, and here. They kind of recognize what is going on. As soon as there's weakness, professionals step in and take advantage and kind of push it up. So actually, so wheat and soybeans actually looking strong. Corn, maybe not so much. So there we go, a little rip around the charts, and we've got the markets opening in about an hour and a half's time. So we see where that goes. So let's see if we get kind of the E-mini continue to strengthen this week until the professionals kind of step in and take some profits, but not yet. There we go. Hope your trading is going well.